Lord, open our eyes that we might see. Amen. So, there's a lot in today's gospel. We have a miraculous healing. We have proclamations about Christ. We have conflict with the religious authorities and people thrown out of the synagogue. And where do we start with all of this? For me, where I start is with a phrase at the very beginning that jumps out at me. Who sinned, that this man or his parents, that he was born blind? Historically, this might seem like a quaint anachronism. Congenital blindness is now most often understood to be the result of things like malnutrition and vitamin A deficiency, or infections like measles or conjunctivitis that can cause blindness. We don't think of blindness as being the result of someone or someone's parents sinning. And yet, perhaps there is a little bit of that in our understanding of things like malnutrition or infection. After all, how is it that some people don't have enough food? How is it that some people don't have the health care that they need, or don't receive vaccinations that would prevent measles and hence prevent blindness? Making it even more relevant today, let's think of a character similar in our modern time. For example, take a homeless person, perhaps with mental illness, perhaps with a substance use disorder, perhaps even befouling our courtyard. Is this person's illness, homelessness, a result of personal bad choices? Is it a result of bad parenting? Is it perhaps a result of spiritual flaws? When we see people doing things that we find unacceptable, when we see people who are struggling, who are suffering, we look for somebody to blame. We look for a scapegoat. And this can get in the way of our ability to care for those around us. It's almost as if we think, for whatever reason, because of bad choices, bad parenting, what have you, this person's somewhat less worthy of care. And perhaps we can make it even more personal. A week or so ago, I went to the American Group Psychotherapy Association conference down in New York. Spent a lot of time talking with people about the patients that are cared for, and for that matter, many of the therapists themselves. People who feel that they are never good enough. People who have been told in one way or another that they are inadequate. People who feel that they are imposters, perhaps have an imposter syndrome. And in this setting too, we wonder, who sinned? Was it the child? Was it the experiences of the person growing up? How much of that was a result of the parents and people having issues unresolved with their parents? Who sinned, this man or his parents, that he was born blind? And this blindness can be more than just the physical blindness of our eyes not working, but a metaphor of our inability to see, our inability to see and to love one another the way God sees us. So this inability, this blindness, it's something I suspect many of us carry. And it's something that we talk about as we approach the Eucharist in the prayer of humble access. We are not worthy so much as to gather up the crumbs under thy table. We are never good enough. We are inadequate. And if that's where the prayer of humble access ended, it would be devastating. But it's not where it ends. The prayer of humble access continues with, but thou art the same Lord, whose property is always to have mercy. That mercy of the Lord is what is reflected in Jesus' response to the question of who sinned. For Jesus said it was not that this man sinned or his parents, but that the works of God might be made manifest in him. How might the works of God be manifest in us? How might we see more clearly God's love for those around us? It seems to me like this connects back to our first reading of Samuel anointing David, of Samuel looking at people and thinking, oh, surely this must be who God would anoint. And we are told the Lord does not see as mortals see. They look on the outward appearance, but the Lord looks on the heart. Returning to my reflections from the Group Psychotherapy Association conference, one of the recurring themes I heard over and over again was people talking about their desire to be seen, to be truly seen, to be deeply seen as they view themselves, or perhaps even better, to be seen as God sees us. And God does see us. And God does love us. And today's lesson is a reassurance to us, to each one of us, in our blindness, in our unworthiness, that God does see us and God does love us. And it is also a challenge and a call to each one of us to seek to see those around us as God sees them. To show to those around us just a small bit of the love that God has for them. In a little while at communion, we will sing a hymn. We will sing, I want to see the brightness of God. I want to look at Jesus. Perhaps some of how we see that brightness of God, some of how we see Jesus, is by looking at those around us and seeing them the way God sees them. Lord, help us to see the brightness of God in each person we meet, and help others to see your brightness in us.